Hey everybody, this is K. Francis Smith, lead pastor of Excel Church, and I want to welcome you to the Money Mastery Masterclass. Congratulations, you are in the right place at the right time, and you are about to get some powerful, dynamic, life-changing information. Last week we went over budgeting. We got some powerful practices and principles for budgeting. We're taking our lives to the next level. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back over a little bit of review. We're going to get it started. But before we do, I want you to go ahead, tag somebody, like, comment, and share, okay? Today we're getting into it. We're going to dive right in. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to start off with this roadmap to financial independence. Remember, we started off here. Number one, we're talking about poor. That means we start budgeting. That means we avoid spending more than we earn, and we start learning new skills. We went in there. Last week, what we did was we started off with the budget. We got into it. This week, we're getting into the comfort zone. The comfort zone is this. You build your reserves. Somebody say, build your reserves. We want you to build your reserves. Avoid the temptation to grow fixed costs. We've got a word for that. There's an EMI. We're going to work on EMI today. And then you want to embrace discomfort to progress, okay? Embrace discomfort to progress. So let's look at some of that decisions investors have to make. Should I prepay the home loan or invest it, okay? So this is a big question you want to ask yourself if you're going to be an investor. Number two, should I buy that plot of land or not, all right? Number three, should I take the second property or put the money into a mutual fund? Should I buy the higher end model of the car or the lower end model of the car? Should I change my job for higher salary or stay in my comfort zone? Should I give $1,000 to my friend as a loan or make some excuse? Now that what we call that's called what? Peer investing, right? We're going to do some peer investing, right? So you can loan money to your friend and they can give it to you back with interest and you can make money just loaning money out, right? Should I buy the $150,000 single home, family home, or a multi-family dwelling? Should I keep so much money in a fixed deposit or invest it in the second home? Should I save for my kids' education right now or leave it to fate? Is it fine to spend money on outings so much? Should I hang out with my buddies? Should I run around? Should I party with my friends? Did I make a mistake by spending so much on myself? The question is, am I selfish? Am I selfish? Now, these are a lot of questions these are decisions that investors have to make, and these are questions that investors must ask themselves. Now, you got to have some sort of infrastructure or some sort of foundation that you build off of. So we're going to talk about how to build a foundation where you can answer all of these questions and even more from a sound place, because I want you to be a sound thinker. When you're making decisions, you have to have a fundamental base, all right? So what we're going to do is give you some fundamentals today just so you can have a basis from which to spring forth your thoughts, spring forth your ideas, spring forth great decisions, because I'm here. My job is to help you think wonderful thoughts. I'm here to help you think better thoughts, more prosperous thoughts, more fruitful and productive thoughts, and more lucrative thoughts. So here we go. Decision making for your financial life. All right. So we're going to start off with number one, debt free versus with debt. Everyone's not about not having debt. So this is called the 4-point decision making. Okay. 4-point decision making on number one, debt free versus with debt. The first thing to choose is if you want to be completely debt free, or if it's fine if you have debt over your head, okay? So the question is, debt-free or with debt, what is your priority? So the first point in your decision-making framework is to decide if you want to lead a debt-free life or if you're comfortable with debt and side by side you're creating your wealth? This question is very important to answer because the debt trap has destroyed many lives and made some really amazing people slaves in today's world. So a person wanting to be debt-free ASAP keeps getting into the debt because why? Each opportunity looks so promising and they're attracted towards it. And even though it doesn't match their vision in life, they still fall into the debt trap. So if you look at the other side of the coin, a lot of people, after they've taken the first home loan, keep taking additional seconds and third loans against the property, loans for second houses and second cars, the plot of land, loans against the property, and they keep giving away their salary. And what they do is they keep making assets on the side. So while this is not an issue as much, but the problem happens when you realize that you wanted to be debt-free long ago, but your lifestyle didn't match up because you kept on amassing debt. And guess what happened? You get a lot of overhead, and now you're stressed out and you become a debt slave. So number 2, we want to go with this. Simple life versus luxurious. Are you interested in leading a simple, minimalistic lifestyle or lavish and luxury? I know some people will say they want a balanced life. I want to do both, which has a mix of simplicity and luxury, both. I get that. And I get that. But some people don't understand that one is going to dominate the other, okay? So some people choose to have the simple life and other people choose to have the more luxurious life. Now, let's not judge people on this parameter. I'm sure a lot of people who want to choose luxury as their theme deserve it. I mean, they work hard for it. It's a choice of leading a life. That's all it is. After all, guess what? You got one life to live. You don't get any do-overs, and it's yours to live. On the other hand, there are people who are very uncomfortable with lavishness, and they want their life to be simple and plain. These people spend a lot of money on few things they love, and they become thrifty at various points in their life. These people don't waste money at all. They're people who are fine with what they have. Now, both themes that we discussed are right for those who choose them. And we never know why people choose the theme that they choose. One person might choose to live lavishly, while another person chooses to live in simplicity, and we don't have the right to judge them. But I want you to know there are so many dynamics to it that we really can't judge, all right? So let's talk about why choosing your theme is important, okay? So that when the big purchase comes, you can see it if it's your theme or not. Okay, let's talk about why choosing your theme is important. So do you want to be a simplistic liver? Do you want to be a person with debt, without debt, or do you want to be you want to live a simple life or luxurious life? The reason that's important is because when the big purchase comes or the big opportunity comes, you can see if it fits your theme or not. So you want to choose which car to buy. You want to choose which house to buy. You want to be able to choose how much furnishing you should do on your newly purchased home. You want to be able to decide if you want to buy a premium villa or a regular $150,000 home. You want to decide whether you want to give kids a big birthday party or whatever it is that you want to spend your money on. I want to say this. Number one, it's not about showing off. You don't have anything to prove to anybody. And a lot of people might feel that those who want to lead a life of luxury want to impress their friends. They want to do things to show off. However, that's not always the case, all right? How people spend their limited span of life on this planet is up to them. Just because you're not like that doesn't mean that the other person's wrong, and it doesn't make you right either, for that matter. So if you've made up your mind to be a lavish liver, and that's your theme, then ignore all the people who tell you you shouldn't have that and you should be thinking about the future, and spend time on yourself. Spend your money on yourself. Live like a king. Earn more. Spend more. Buy great, awesome clothes. Get exotic cars. Go on extravagant vacations like there's no tomorrow. But be clear, this is what you wanted. And the thing about it is, you will not feel guilty at the end of your life, and because you lived your best life, right? I mean, think about it. So the next thing we want to think about is blocked assets versus liquid net worth. Which one excites you, okay? So we got to ask ourselves the question. Are you into the game of creating lots of assets like property, land, business, etc.? Or do you want to just have liquid money? Do you want to have mutual funds? Do you want to have stocks and bonds? What do you want to have? So for those who think a lot of money will solve all your problems, you'll be amazed to hear that there are many investors that are worth $1 million, $2 million that depend on personal loans, even if they suddenly need like $80,000 or $100,000. And if they suddenly lose their job, guess what? They panic like everybody else. Why? Because they're not sure where their next month's worth of bills are going to come from. They've got extreme amounts of overhead. So why is it when their net worth is $1.2 million? Why would they have to borrow $80,000 or $100,000? Well, let me show you, because it's all blocked and it's all locked in assets, which are highly illiquid. So whenever you have land and whenever you have property and whenever you have fixed assets, what happens is you have to be able to get the money out. And sometimes it takes months or even years to get the money out of your assets. And sometimes you got to pay higher rates of interest just to get to your own money, okay? So the reality of life is some people like their dividends and concrete things like assets, and so they can touch it, they can feel it. And the truth be told, people keep increasing their net worth. They stay low on liquid. One of the greatest challenges is that great opportunities come, and guess what? They can't really access their money. They can't take advantage of it, so they have to take a loan just to get in the game, right? So the worst part is that a lot of these investors never wanted things to be like that. But because they never slowed down in their financial lives to think of how it should eventually look, their financial life took a shape of its own based on circumstances. So some investors like liquid money and some people like hard assets. So liquid money means the money which can be redeemed soon. I mean, you can grab that money from the bank, you can grab it out of your retirement or wherever it is, and you get decent returns on it. So a lot of money in mutual funds, fixed deposits, limited money in real estate is what I call liquid net worth, okay? In our financial planning terms, I believe that having 1 million in liquid net worth has to be one of your primary milestones as an investor. So there are many investors out here who have a decent net worth, but if you take real estate out of the equation, guess what? Their net worth goes away. Why? Because all of their net worth is tied up in equity in real estate. And remember this, always remember this, it's not money until you redeem it. Until you cash it in, it's net worth, but what's the net really worth until you cash it in, all right? So it's all about what excites you, okay? So you want to work on this now. So if you want to create a high net worth comprising of liquid net worth, stocks, mutual funds, cash, real estate, or you want to be high on real estate, various properties, plots of land, businesses, etc., and lower on liquid net worth, it's up to you. You must decide where you want to live your life. Do you want to have assets, which are real estate and businesses, things like that, or if you want to have a liquid net worth where you can get to your money quicker. So the last one is, do you want to live for yourself or do you want to live for others? For whom are you creating your wealth? So you need to also decide who's the focus of your life, you or others. For whom are you creating assets, property, generating your wealth? All right, so here we are. We got to make a decision, right? And we're going to be a little bit selfish here. And the tough question for you is going to be this. Who are you earning all of this money for? Okay, now let's go this way and let's be a little bit selfish, mainly yourself. A bit for others in your life, you know, your kids, your parents, others in your life, or is it mainly others? A bit for yourself. So is it more for yourself, a little bit for others, or is it more for others and a bit for yourself? See, our parents went and created wealth for us if we ever had any wealth, or they sacrificed for us because they wanted us to have what they never had. Many of us are first generation wealth if we have wealth, right? They didn't want their kids to have to struggle, or you're doing it for your kids. You got to consider which side you want to be on. They earned all their life, but they never enjoyed the fruits of their labor. They never gave priority to their desires in life. They never owned a car so they could have a bike, or they never created their retirement fund because they were busy funding our post-graduation, or they were trying to get us into school, or saving up for our college, or whatever have you. They never went out on lavish vacations. Many of us don't come from families who went on extravagant vacations because their daughter's wedding had to be planned years before the money was to be accumulated, right? So you have to think about how you want to live your life. Are you thinking about your children's future, your kids' education, your retirement? In times past, kids' education meant your retirement goal, meaning I'm going to pay for my kids' education, and guess what? I'm not going to have any retirement money. So I'm paying for my kid to go to some school. But now when I retire, I've got to go to work because I can't retire because I got to work to pay off the kid's school. So you'll find various parents today who've hit retirement, but they have nothing great in net worth to talk about. They don't have any money. They don't have a penny to feed themselves. There's no help coming from anywhere. No kids helping them, because guess what? The kids got to pay the loan back that they borrowed from. A lot of parents are off secretly wondering if they did the right thing to overthink their kids' school versus their own retirement. So you got to think about, what are my aspirations? Who am I earning this money for? Why am I doing this? And I want you to know that things are changing. Today, you've got to plan both goals separately. And for most people, hear me well, it's not possible to reach both goals easily. Kids today, they've got many options. They can borrow money on their own. Now, a lot of times they want a cosigner. It's up to you to figure out what that's worth for you. Your child has to know that school's for them. I just don't believe school's for everyone. Most of the millionaires, billionaires we see today didn't graduate school. And if they did, it was after they made their millions or their billions. In fact, so many parents now taking the route of getting loans for their children. They co-sign, but finally ask the kids to repay it themselves. Hey, when you get out of school, you're going to pay this back yourself because I got to live my life. And at some point, you've got to make up your mind to live your life. So many sons and daughters are guilty of having their parents spend all their money on their weddings. And guess what? You spend your money on their wedding and they want to plan the wedding themselves. You see, it's a sensitive topic, but this always keeps parents wondering, is it my job to pay for my child's wedding? I don't know. You've got to answer that question. That's your question to answer. Spending culture is off the chain today. People are spending money in ways they never spent money before. This internet, Amazon, and all this stuff has got us spending so much money, and it is unbelievable. So today, people are buying more things online. Today, people are going on more exotic vacations. Now, of course, not in COVID times as much, but these vacations abroad and more money on entertainment. People want to watch movies. They want to eat at extravagant restaurants. They want to be in the best place. They want to have great experiences. People are spending money buying bigger cars. When I was younger, cars for $70,000 were a lot. But now a $70,000 car is normal, okay? But the thing is, people are spending money on things they don't know whether they want them or not, because they're not clear on whether this fits their framework. They're not clear if this fits their theme for their life. So the reality is that you have to figure out, what is your theme? And let's go back now. Let's talk about this. Do you want to be debt-free, or are you willing to live with debt? Some people are comfortable with debt. They don't mind debt being on their neck. They don't mind having a bunch of school loans. They don't mind having a mortgage that's $1 million. As long as they can live fat, I'm pretty much the opposite. I'm not gonna lie to you. If it comes down to not having a mortgage, I'm the guy who's not gonna have the mortgage, and I'd live in the $500,000 house that's paid for versus the $1.5 million house with all that debt, because I know that COVID times come. And when COVID times come, trust me when I tell you, you're gonna wish that you put yourself in a better position, because there are times where money slows down. And you've got to be prepared for those times. So the debt-free versus the with debt, I would say that I'm closer to the debt-free guy, right? I'm closer to the debt-free guy. But you've got to figure out what's your framework, all right? Then when it comes down to simple or luxurious, which one are you? Are you simple or are you luxurious? Make up your mind which theme you're going to take, because whatever theme you take is the theme you're going to have to live with. So once you get in this lane and you see people driving nicer cars than you and people getting accolades, you don't trip, because you've got your own plan. You're in your own lane, you're thinking your own way, and you don't worry about what anyone else is thinking, because you know I'm a simple guy. And it might look like I'm behind, but if you look behind the scenes, I'm really ahead, because I've got my own theme, I've got my own plan, and I know what works for me. Never live to impress other people. People who do the luxurious thing, most of them, they never last. You can't do that forever unless you make a ton of money. So make sure you choose your theme and live where you need to live, okay? Now, also, remember, you got to think about this, simple or luxurious. You got to think about this, assets versus liquid. Do you want to be the person with a bunch of real estate? Do you want to be the person with businesses? Do you want to be the person with hard assets? I'm a guy who's a house, land kind of guy. I believe that money should be working for you. There are some people who fundamentally, they have a different construct. They don't believe what I believe. I believe you're supposed to protect your money from what? Inflation. Number 2, taxation. Number 3, market fluctuation. These are 3 things you're supposed to be protecting your money from. So once I put it into an asset, I know I can protect it that way. You got it? Because there are a million ways to do that. But once I put it in liquid, now it's depreciating. Inflation is kicking me in the tail. Inflation is killing me. When I put it in liquid, plus I'm too generous, I'll be done gave it away or something. I'll be helping people, doing stuff. So when you get it, you want it to go to work for you. And you want to put it in an asset that gains equity, an asset that gets you profitability. It makes you profit, okay? So you got to think about that. And then lastly, you got to think about whether you're going to live for yourself or for others. We've got songs like right now, like I'm living my best life. Everybody wants to live their best life, right? I'm living my best life. I ain't going back and forth. Before that, it was Kanye West. Yeezy was talking about the good life. It seems like Atlanta. It seems like, and everybody wants to live this extravagant life, but that's living for yourself. That's living for yourself. And I know what you're thinking. The person who wants to live for themselves is saying, look, when I'm gone, I don't care. Don't matter to me. You know, whatever I leave behind, they can have. But I'm not going to give up my life. I'm going to enjoy my life. Hey, enjoy your life. Make up your mind, however you're going to do it, that you're cool with it. Live with it, because you're going to be the one who has to die with it. And if you're going to live for others, then you're going to have to realize that Solomon said, hey, you leave stuff to people, you don't know whether they're going to be wise or not. We know that most people who hit the lottery, guess what? They mess it up. Most people that inherit mess it up. Most people that don't earn it, they mess it up. But that's not the point. The point is you ran your part of the race. You live for other people. You sacrifice for others. I know some people who make decent money, but they never have any money. They have no money and barely any assets, but they have a lot of fun. They got a lot of toys. They look the part. Listen, there's no need in playing big when little got you. So we talked through it. We thought through it. And I just want you to know, this is your decision-making framework. You want to look at this. This is your financial life. Figure out which one of these you want to be, where you want to be in this, and live there. Figure out which one is you, which one fits. Know where you are here. I know I'm more debt-free than I am with debt. I know I'm a little bit simpler than I am luxurious. I've got some luxurious things, but it depends on who you ask. If you knew me before, you'd know I'm simple. Before I was extremely luxurious. Now I've lived in my house for 18 years. So that makes me simple. The car that I drive now, I've driven for 4 years. That makes me simple. You got it? My phone, I've had it for 2 years. That makes me simple. There's a way to look luxurious even when you're simple. If I buy something luxurious, it's going to be older. It'll have some mileage on it. I'm not going to buy anything new. There's ways you can look luxurious and still be simple. Y'all don't hear me. I always live beneath my means. Remember, that's a part of our budget. We want to live where? Beneath our means. So here we are. I'm a simple guy. I'm closer to a debt-free guy. I like assets over liquid. I'm more of an asset guy. Why? Assets can go in company names. Assets can go in nonprofits. Assets can go a lot of places. When you do your liquid, you can do that too. You can do that too. But liquids, again, remember, you're protecting your liquid from 3 things: inflation, taxation, and market fluctuation. So liquid is hard to keep from that because the moment you put it in the bank, they're not giving you any interest, and inflation's hitting it and it's depreciating, okay? And then the last thing you want to ask yourself is, am I living for myself or am I living for others? Okay, that's my time. I want to say thank you so much. I pray you got something out of this, and I pray that you apply it to your life. And I wish above all that you would prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. I want you to tag somebody, like this thing, comment on it, and share it, because everybody needs some of the wealth, and there's enough to go around, all right? Listen, this is Pastor Smith signing off, saying he reigns and we win. Go change the world. Be blessed. Bye now.